Let's go through how to service the machine. So when you go to the machine, you need to unlock the door. If you put your key in, unlock it, it will pop out. So you need to turn it anti-clockwise, but be careful you don't push it in. If you push it in, it will counteract you unscrewing it. So you just keep turning it anti-clockwise and the door should pop open. So as soon as I get in there, I will remove the things that I need to remove. So I will remove the tray. That's one. I will remove the filter, which is at the top. That's two. And the sewage pan and the wastewater bucket. There's 5 things to remove and the nozzle. So there's the 5 things that I removed that I need to clean. This is the clean water tank. So I will take that out and I will fill it up with, well, I would empty the water and then refill it with water. As soon as I've removed everything out of the machine, I will lightly soak the sugar. So this is warm to hot water. I'm just literally soaking the sugar so that it touches the water. I'm not going to spend too much time cleaning it right now. All I want to do is just let the water dissolve the sugar. So now that's soaked up, what I will go to do now is top up my sugar stock. So there's a couple of things I need to top up is the sugar, the sticks, the sprinkle and the clean water. So without the lid, the sugar colour won't work. So the sugar tub will always need a lid. So as soon as I get there, I remove the lid and I will give the sugars a good poke to break up any clusters. If it's not being used for a little time, the sugar will cluster up. So the poke is just to break up any clusters. Then I will fill it up with sugar. Put the lid back on and fill up the water tank and put the water tank back inside. Now there's 2 pipes that go into the water tank. Just make sure that they're touching the bottom of the water tank inside the water. If it's floating in the air, that's no good because it can't pick up any water. So always double check that it's at the bottom of the tank. The other thing that we do need to top up are the sticks. When you do take the sticks out, just make sure that they're in perfect condition. They're not squashed at the side or they're not flattened, because if they are, they won't feed through the machine. They normally are in perfect condition, so you just remove them out the packet and just pop them in the stick box. These are your sprinkles. You've got your rainbow sprinkles. Just open the lid, pour them in and put the lid back on, and your chocolate sprinkles right here. Once I've finished topping up the stock, I will take my stuff to the kitchen and I will rinse all the sugar off first. So once I've rinsed all the sugar off with some hot water, I will then use some soapy water to wash the dirt off the filter, off the sewage pan and off the wastewater bucket. So always dry the filter. Never put it in the dishwasher because it will damage the goods. So now we're going to clean the machine. Hopefully the water that we left earlier has done a little bit of work so we don't have to scrub so much. But otherwise just keep using hot soapy water just to remove off all the sugar. At this point I'm not concerned about how dirty my towel is. I'm just concerned about wiping off all the sugar. So once I've wiped off all the sugar, I will wipe the arm. You can lift up the arm once the machine is switched off. You can manually take the stick out, but don't ever put the stick back in yourself. The machine will put a stick back in itself. So in the arm here with the stick in, the red light will shine. I don't know if you can see it, it's not very clear, but when you remove it, that red dot will go. Put it in, the red dot will go back in. So when there's a stick, the red dot will come on. When there's not a stick, the red dot will disappear. That is the sensor inside this arm. So always be careful when you're wiping this bit. Never get water inside. When you do clean it, just use a very slightly damp cloth. Nothing too wet that when you squeeze this cloth, the water will drip out. Also, the knife is very important. This is what shapes the candy floss. Always make sure that it's silky smooth, and when you touch it, it's not sticky. The wheel is the most important part. The wheel needs to be silky smooth, no sugar bits on there, and it should always spin. If this wheel is not spinning, the stick will get stuck on there and the stick will fall off the arm and then the candy floss won't make. Now, if that ever does happen, if a candy floss does fall off and it's just carrying on making a candy floss, never switch off the machine while it's in making. Always let it run its course, and then you could clean it up afterwards, because if you switch it off during the making, it will damage the machine, which is even more of a nightmare. So we'll just carry on cleaning the machine. So what happened is I wiped off all the sugar out of the machine. So what I've done now is got a clean towel with some clean hot water, and I've gone over the machine just to wipe off any sugar sticky water. So now the machine's clean, we're going to put all the parts back inside. The sewage pan goes inside. There's a screw here. That screw should go inside the hole. There's only one hole. So this would lock the sewage pan. There we go. And then we got the filter that goes at the top. It doesn't matter which way or how you put it in, just as long as it's dry, it will slide back in. And then you got the wastewater bucket that goes underneath the machine. Some pipes in the middle, and there is a hole at the side of the wastewater bucket, which a little black pipe should pop inside right there. Now I finish off with cleaning the window, wipe off all the sugar, and then I spray it with a bit of blue roll, make sure it's squeaky clean, put the trays back inside, and then we lock up. We lock the door. We have to close the door. When you turn the lock, turn it clockwise, keep turning it until it's stiff. Make sure you've got your key on you. Once you have, push it in, and then the door will shut. Lastly, we need to update the stock settings. So you log back in to the management system, go to stock setting page, and then whatever is inside your sugar tub should correspond with the stock levels. Now, if you've only got 50% of white sugar, always put 50% of white sugar inside your stock levels, so that if we do sell out of white, then the machine will know there's no more physical white sugar inside the tank, so we can't oversell. So that is how you clean the machine.